Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I got a GTA Online video for you guys, and on today's video I wanted to talk about what I think Rockstar is planning with GTA 6 Online and why I think these odd jobs they have added are actually pretty important. So if you guys have seen, in the last 2 years, Rockstar has added a bunch of these weird jobs. They're not necessarily bad, but they're just kind of weird. They're kind of like out of place. And the reason I say that they're kind of out of place is because these jobs are all legal jobs. These are actual jobs that you work for, that you're not actually committing crimes. So you're not killing anybody, you're not really robbing anybody, you're not selling drugs. These are actually all real legitimate jobs. We got the pizza deliveries, we got the taxis, we got armored truck deliveries, we got delivering medications to hospitals for pharmaceutical companies. We got ones where we can pretend to be a police officer and help Vincent. Technically we're killing, but we're still doing it, to fight corruption for Vincent. We have the firefighter missions. We have the forklift operator. We have newspaper delivery boy. We have the weed delivery, or at least I should say legal weed delivery. We have Higgins heli tours. We got the car wash. So we got a lot of these odd jobs that are all like illegal businesses, and I actually do think that these are actually playing a massive role in especially leading up to GTA 6 Online and why Rockstar is doing this. Now I don't have direct 100% evidence for everything that I'm saying here. It's just basically on what I personally think, but I have reason to believe what I think. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, let me start talking about these jobs. So first up, we got the pizza deliveries, and the pizza deliveries, you go to a few locations, you get on a scooter, you deliver 5 pizzas, and that is pretty much it. You have a timer with the pizza being cold, and if you deliver the pizza before it's cold, you do get a bigger reward for that. Now we got taxi, just like in the older GTA games. You can actually use your own custom taxi, or you can get a taxi from downtown Cabco. And the nice thing about this is that you don't need to own a business, you don't need to own any kind of property to do this. A lot of people find this boring, but any player can do this right when they're basically starting off. You basically pick up clients, you drop them off to where they want. Sometimes it's far, sometimes it's close, and it does increase a little bit up to 10. I think after 10 fares, I think that's the max that you can earn on a fare. And the faster you get there, the more in the tip that you're gonna get. Then we also have the armored trucks. We have 2 different missions. We have one at the docks, and we have one in downtown. And basically, this is pretty simple. You get in the armored truck and you drive it to the destination. Now, you can get ambushed by criminals along the way, but again, it is an odd job. It is a form of legal work. We also have Vincent's, missions, and these missions are, you get your own cop car, and you basically just, start up the missions right there. You hit L3, start up these missions, and Vincent will give you a mission. There is a little bit of a cooldown on it. I believe it's 5 minutes, but he'll give you different missions. Like in this case, I had to stop a taco truck that was actually selling drugs and drive it back to Vincent's lockup, and that taco truck also had connections to corrupt cops who Vincent is trying to stop. We have now the 3 recent newer ones that only got added last month, but we basically have firefighter, and this firefighter, you have a bunch of different jobs. You can save a burning building, put out a dumpster fire, cars that are on fire, bring a cat down from a roof, also save somebody that's suffocating inside a building. You do 5 of them, and then there is a little bit of a cooldown. You can also use your own custom RCV for that, or the fire truck that you get. Then we also have the newspaper deliveries, kind of similar to the acid lab, but instead of delivering acid, we're just delivering newspapers. It is the same animations. You're on a bike, deliver it to 10 locations, drop it off there. You don't have to drop it off in a small bin, thankfully. You just have to drop it off in a general area in front of the house. And then we have the forklift operator. And the forklift operator, this job here, I know that there are some illegal goods that are in the warehouse. I get that, but it's still technically is an odd job. You are working an actual job. You're not killing anybody. You're not robbing anybody, and you load 3 of the same, and you get a bonus for that. And if you actually work at night, you will actually get an even bigger bonus for working a night shift. And then lastly, we have those cash businesses that were added last summer, and we have the car wash first up. With the car wash, we're using that to hide our money laundering. We take a client's car, wash it, bring it back. We got Higgins heli tours, which is a front for our air cargo. Higgins heli tours, we give tours to tourists, fly to 5 different locations while they're taking pictures, bring them back. And then we also have the weed delivery, the legal weed delivery, I should say, which is basically a front for our weed MC business. And that is uh, that one is a little bit different. It's the longest one where you will actually have a bunch of different locations that you can deliver to, and you have different flavors. And if you choose a different flavor and you put that down there, you'll actually get a bonus at the end of that. And that's also front for our weed business. And those three are also meant to bring down heat. So they bring down heat on those businesses, and they have separate missions, illegal missions that you can do that also do tend to pay well. Now, anyways, back to this here. Now that I've explained all of these odd jobs, why is Rockstar, putting in all of these odd jobs? What is the reason for that? Well, the reason that I think for this is I think that this is the direction that they're going to be going with in GTA 6 Online. And I don't want some people to panic. I don't want some people to get scared. I think this is a good thing, and let me explain why. Because Rockstar realizes and Take-Two Interactive realizes that 5M is what's extremely popular. Now, we don't have 5M on console. I'm mostly a console player, but I've played 5M. I actually played it recently last week for the first time. But about 5M is a role-playing, GTA online mod. And in that is that you join different servers, and every single server is different. People make different types of servers. Ones where you can have actual jobs, ones where you can like be a bank robber. I think like a cartel member. Like there's just so many different 5M servers. They're just all over the place. I'm not a complete expert on 5M, so just don't quote me on this. But I am familiar with it. I understand how it works. And Red M is the same thing. Red M is Red Dead. It's a form of Red Dead Online with a mod, but there's custom servers where people can, roleplay in the Wild West. So 5M has actually more players on it on PC than standard GTA Online. So that's why Take-Two acquired, 5M and Red M, because they realized how popular this is, and they realized this is what people like. Now we don't have this option to play on consoles for 5M and Red M, but if these were on consoles, I guarantee you they probably would have even more players than you would have on standard GTA Online on consoles. So what Rockstar is trying to do here, at least from my understanding, is that they are trying to make GTA 6 Online more RP focused, more role-playing focused. And I have even more proof for this. They're basically putting out all these odd jobs as like a way, I guess, to test that, to see how players react to it. And while these are a step in the right direction, the odd jobs are a little bit weird because the odd jobs still feel like a chore. They feel more like a chore. You don't actually feel like a firefighter or a cop. It feels more like a chore, more like a grind. But hopefully, GTA 6 Online, fixes that. They have like with the forklift operator I was talking about earlier. If you work at night, you do get a bonus. With the weed deliveries, if you deliver certain flavors, certain addresses, you get a bonus. They are adding that RP element to the game. There's more proof of this. So in 2024, Rockstar changed GTA Online, and I remember I tested this. I experimented a little bit with this. I actually made a character with the I think it's the career progress. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's what it's called, career progress. I'll have a screenshot of it on the screen right now. But what career progress basically is you get around, I believe it was $4 million, and when you're making your first GTA Online character, and you can pick a role with that career builder. And the roles were, I believe it was biker. It was arms dealer with the gun running. It was also like nightclub manager, and I think the other one was CEO. And when you picked one of those roles, you would have the theme of that role. So I picked a biker. That's what I picked. I like bikers. I like, the Lost MC are probably my favorite gang in the entire GTA series. So I picked bikers. And when I picked the bikers, I remember that my character had, the leather jacket on. I did have a standard bike. I don't remember which one it was, but I remember I did get something. And you do get a little bit of money, but you have to put that towards the business. And I remember I bought a Coke business. And so that was pretty cool, because it lets you start up the game in a playstyle that you want specifically. And I think that this is what GTA 6 Online is going for. I think that GTA 6 Online is specifically going with this theme, where when GTA 6 Online launches, is that you are going to be able basically to choose your role. You're going to be able to choose, what you want to do. You want to be an arms dealer, you want to be a biker, stuff like that. And yes, there's going to be some of these businesses and stuff, but I don't think that it's going to be as grindy. Now, I know people are going to say that, Rockstar makes money from shark cards and stuff like that. I get that. So there is going to be some kind of microtransaction element to this. But at the same time, you have to understand, the more players that play the game, the more money that they will get. That is it. So it's actually a good thing that they're going to make the game less grindy and more, role play focused. I don't know this 100%, but this is just, I'm 95% certain of this, of just what I've seen with the career builder and just these odd jobs that they're doing. That's at least my thoughts on it. That's at least my thought process. Let me know if you agree with me, that that's the direction they're going with. But I would really like that, where we can play the type of criminal that we want. We can set it up how we want. You want to be a biker, strictly a biker, be a biker. You want to be a drug dealer, be a drug dealer. You want to be a nightclub manager, be a nightclub manager. Stuff like that. You want to be an arms dealer, you be an arms dealer. And you focus specifically on that, because the problem with GTA Online is there's so many of these ridiculous businesses all over the place, and while they are nice, they give us more ways to make money. It's just so overly complicated with all these businesses here, and I get asked all the time on my channel, it's like, Professional, what is the best business to use in the game? And I tell them it's really a combination of all businesses. There really isn't a single business, at least in my opinion. There are some businesses that are better than others, don't get me wrong, but there really isn't a single best business, because the best way to make money is not to use a single business, but to combine businesses. You combine them together, even possibly with heists while you're waiting for businesses to produce. Do Cayo Perico or a casino heist. But hopefully with GTA 6 is that they've learned their lesson with GTA Online, and they learned that a lot of players don't like the grind. And here's the thing about me on my channel, guys. I uploaded so many guides on my channel of grinding, making money, doing that stuff, and I have so many money guides, and my money guides got millions of views, and I've gotten, hundreds of thousands of subscribers over the years from it. But here's the thing is, even though I like GTA Online, I enjoy GTA Online, it is my favorite online game. And don't get me wrong on that. Some parts of the GTA Online, I don't enjoy some parts of the grinding. I will concede that. So I do enjoy the game, and I know some people might be shocked for me to hear me say that. I like making money in the game. So I like making money for my character, and I like making guides and stuff like that. But some of the missions, some of the businesses, the way that they're running, I don't like them. Like, for example, like CEO crates, I really don't like that. I really don't like having to constantly get crates over and over again, deliver to the warehouse, repeat, rinse over and over again. That grind is what's annoying. So I think that the logic here is that with GTA 6 Online, they're going to be focusing more on that RP element. And I know people are going to argue with me and tell me in the comments, no, they're not going to do the RP element. They're still going to make it grindy as hell because they want to make money from microtransactions. But you have to remember, they acquired 5M and Red M. They understand that is what's popular with people. And they didn't shut that down. They didn't shut down 5M. They didn't shut down Red M. So if they make the game RP, role-playing focused, more people are going to play that. And if more people play the game, they will eventually sell more microtransactions. That is true. If you make the game too grindy, you're going to have people get off the game, they're going to get pissed, they're going to get bored, and they're not going to spend as much money. So if you make the game more RP focused, yes, I do think that they will make more money. So at least that's my logic. This weekend, around like Saturday or Sunday, I will have another video talking about how I think GTA 6 Online should be, like just my opinion, how I think the businesses should run and stuff like that. I'll have that up on this weekend if you want to check that out. I'll talk about a little bit of what I said here, but people do agree with what I'm saying, because I made a poll recently, which I'll put on the screen right here, and in that poll, I had pretty much asked you guys, what role would you like to see in, GTA 6 Online? Like, what would you like to play as? And most people chose Hitman, so I was like choosing different types of like criminals that you could possibly be. So people are open to the idea. People do like stuff like that. So I'll talk more about that on the weekend, but that's at least what I think. My best guess on that. Let me know what you think down below. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.